Everyone doing today? If you're new to the channel and new to Luma membership here on YouTube, it's Luma Light, Luma Evolve, Luma Center. So this service is for Luma Evolve and Higher and our membership program. And if this is your first time viewing this, hi. My name is Jamie Butler, and today we're going to be trance channeling. This is a live stream. So for those of you who are here, you can put your fingers to the keyboard, ask questions, make comments to the class topic that we have today, which is about tuning into nature. Maitland's going to be coming through and teaching the class today. It's going to be fun. Oh, I made sure she's got a bell just in case. We don't know if she's going to need to use it, but there it is. She asks for it often. Colleen is off screen. She's going to be the one who is reading your comments or questions about the topic.
Hi, everyone.
There she is, the disembodied voice. Holding space.
The floating spirit.
Yes. So, did I cover everything?
So we have a couple people saying that there's some kind of strange feedback and rattling. Everyone's saying they feel rattling. Which is so interesting because there's nothing rattling over here.
Can you hear me if I touch the microphone?
There's a buzzing. There's a buzzing, a rattling.
Well, that is no fun.
Sounds like electricity racing. Buzzing sound. Oh, that is so interesting. How to be the microphone.
We've never had that before. Is this helping? Can you plug in the black plug? Just push it in a little bit more to the plug?
Yeah.
No,
it's in. Take it out and put it in.
I don't know if that resets sound.
No, there's
a fan. We don't have a fan.
We don't have a fan.
Sounds like something is too close to something. Speaker and mic. There's no sound in here.
Yeah, and we don't have a speaker on because we're using a headphone jack, and there's no speaker.
Sarah says it's quieted down some, but it's still in the background. Oh, much better. Everyone's saying but. Oh, when I unplugged it and plugged it back in, that helped.
Try it one more time. This is fun. Today has been the day of text.
And it's back.
It's back.
And it's worse.
It's great. Unplug the...
Try one more time.
it just wouldn't be
Without something happening, right? Is that better? It stopped. It stopped. It stopped gone now. We did it. Okay.
Now don't move. Everybody who's watching, don't breathe.
Okay.
Don't.
But once Jamie.
What? No.
Oh, it's back. It says back.
Fantastic. Get rid of this.
And
I love your feedback.
I can barely get here today.
Colleen's just rolled in. Go ahead and unplug it. We'll use the...
You get up and check sound.
okay.
So enjoy the chair for a second.
Yep. I'm so glad it's happening now and not
during.
Mm-mm.
No. Sound preferences. Okay. I don't know how to get rid of that. Okay, that's fine. You can't connect, right? Cool. How is that? If you're listening to the disembodied voices off to the side, are you hearing any sounds?
That's much better.
Yeah.
Best when unplugged. Yes, so good. It's perfect now.
Okay.
Okay, we're going with it.
This is mic option number 2.
And from here on out, we're gonna just have to go with what we have.
See,
Right?
I mean, if you weren't here live and you just couldn't enjoy that we are real people dealing with technical difficulties.
Okay, everyone's saying it's great. So that feels good. And we'll definitely go over 5 minutes to make up for the...
Oh, yeah. And I'll do my best. Maybe afterwards we'll edit the front out.
Okay,
So
so
people don't have to watch us problem solve. Like, great community that I really loved it.
do you want to do that? Because it won't be available right away.
We'll decide. But if I do, let's do it like this.
Okay.
Take 2. Here we are. Hello, everyone. Welcome to YouTube membership Today I'm going to be trance channeling a discussion class, which means that you get to put your fingers to the keyboard and ask questions and make comments about the content that's happening while I'm trance channeling. I'm going to bring forward Maitland today, and we're going to talk about, well, you guys are going to talk about being in tune with nature. With that said, I'm going to step out. If you are sensitive, you might feel a shift in the room from where you are. If you know that's you, let's go ahead and take a deep breath together. Soften your shoulders, open your heart. Release the tension from your jaw, hips. Put your feet on the ground. If you're more of a claircognizant, clairvoyant, go ahead and take a glance over here on the right side. Sometimes you can see a little light show as I step out and I step in. I promise I'll be the only one traveling today. And I will see you later. Bye, Luminaires. I had to breathe really hard. It was like I was underwater for a really long time.
There you go. Fill up those lungs.
Hi, Luminaires. Hi, Colleen.
Hi, Maitland.
Hi, everybody. I'm going to get comfortable, and I would like to invite you to get comfortable.
You have so many hellos coming in. Shannon and Sarah and Moni and Mary.
It's our Luma team. I knew today would be great. It's us. So I want these new offerings to be interactive. So it's not Jimmy used to say, it's not a sit still, be still contest. This is share your voice. And I'm going to ask that Colleen, when they write in, you just go ahead and you say it out loud, even if I'm talking, because I know how to listen and talk at the same time.
Okay. And I just want to remind everyone who's present that the questions today are going to be on the topic only. Yeah. So we won't be taking any personal questions today.
That's what the discussion, that's what makes it good discussion.
Yes. Yes.
And today I'm going to talk about being in tune with nature. And I want to share how to get in tune with nature. Why is it important? And what are the common links of why we need that vibration? So let's talk about the common links, and let's bring in Gaia. Oh, we need a drum roll. Mary, give us a drum roll. Gaia. So Gaia's energy, or the earth, the planet you live on, if you want to see it that way, has a very clear voice. You know, everything that has life force has intelligence and has a voice and can be communicated to. Everything that is inanimate and does not have life force has energy in it and has knowledge embedded into it that you can communicate to. So when we look at Gaia and we look at the energy that it takes to make Gaia, and we look at everything that grows upon her, in the soil, in the earth, and in the air, we can link it so easily to her, whether that is because plants and trees grow from the soil, whether that's animals required to eat the plants to thrive, and that includes humans, or whether it is airborne, tiny bacteria and viruses and living on what the earth puts out and creates that atmosphere. We're all part of a whole. For so long, many people on Earth were just thinking that they were themselves. They had their own race and they needed to defend it and stick up for it. And because they were smarter, they were different. And different means separate, because by separatizing, is that a word?
Separating?
By separating themselves, that's a better one.
I like separatizing though.
Separatizing themselves from others, it set them apart intellectually and with their identity to feel more as the ruler of Earth. But humans are really the architects of Earth. They're the creators. You are the ones that connect to this astral and etherical energy, this celestial energy. You can call it the divine cosmos energy, the galactic energy that is beyond the Earth's atmosphere. You are the little living antennas that pull in that frequency and that vibration and then choose the creation of to maintain Earth and Earth's atmosphere. Earth. But somewhere along the way, you guys forgot about it and started saying, well, I got to look out for number one, and started to push aside the care of the Earth. So, conversation today, the importance of the relationship between you and the Earth is not only life-sustaining for you, because this is the planet you chose to incarnate to, it's also the service that you provide to the Earth as the antenna and the creator, like energy from above to feed the Earth. So your antennas and your energy chakras, have you ever seen that toy that's a ball and it has like little rubber phalanges? And they're everywhere and you shake the ball, it's like, have you seen that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the people. Those the phalanges on the ball. I don't know what else to call them. The little things. Those are the people on Earth. And we look at the people in your chakra system, and we look at how the chakras are right down the center of the body, and they go up higher and higher and higher. They go up so far above your head. It's kind of hard to explain. That energy that goes up and up, it goes into different dimensional planes. It doesn't all stay on the third dimensional plane. In fact, the higher up the chakra goes, it accesses different dimensional planes from 3D. The root chakra, very 3D. Earth chakra, very 3D, third dimensional energy, frequency, vibrations. But then the higher it goes, the bigger the bandwidth of the type of frequency it holds, which means that it can access different dimensional planes. Okay, and it goes up and up and up. So for the Earth to bring in those galactic frequencies, the divine cosmos energy, she relies on you. Your feet are rooted on her. You sit upon her. You use your 3D chakras to connect to the 3D Earth, and you're pulling in from these higher frequencies, and you work it all the way down. Thoughts, energy, action, movement, creation, and it feeds the Earth.
I have a question for you, Maitland.
Mm-hmm.
So are you saying, am I hearing this right, that the chakras almost act like plugs into different dimensions?
Yes.
So we're plugged into different dimensions via our chakras.
Mm-hmm.
And would you even say, like you said, third and fifth, like is your center going to the fourth, or is it like in between the third and the fifth? Does that make sense?
Oh, you mean third, 3D and 5D?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So, yes, so the higher it goes, so these are all the bottom ones, the fire ones, red, orange, yellow, very 3D. They love it. And then as we get into the heart, the center of your energetic body, and the vocal voice, which is a different frequency altogether than this hard matter. And then we get up here to thought and intuition. We're going 4D. Some of us have transitioned into 5D already here. And then we go up to a higher consciousness chakra, which all of your other incarnations that you're living are plugged into that one. That's the center of the bicycle wheel, is their higher consciousness chakra. And then from the higher consciousness chakra, boop, 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 you have ones that go wee, wee, wee far up into the divine cosmos energy. And as those go up, that's 5D, 6, 7, 8, 9, and it transcends dimensionals, which is also helpful for you, most of you that are star seeds. And that's where you get your connections to your other incarnations from different dimensional planes.
We have some questions rolling in. You ready?
Roll 'em.
Okay. Sarah Regias is asking, Maitland, what does the earth need from us moving forward as frequencies rise? How can we best take care of our Mama Gaia?
The best way to take care of her. So because you are the energy antenna, you're the like lightning strikes through you and you send that energy into the ground. You ground creation to her. It is about being aware that that is part of your existence. That's the biggest ask that we could do. And for a lot of you, you're like, well, I already do that. Then you're good. But for the majority of people on Earth right now, they do not do that. They're living for their home, their money, the bank account, the car, the status, the being in love or being seen or being famous. They're very misplaced with why they've come in. They've been lured down another avenue. So if you want to help, it's turning to the neighbor, to the next one, and saying, how are you taking care of your plants? And do you really like being outside? Let's go for a walk into nature. Let's calm down. Let's take some breaths right now while we're outside. Let's look up and admire the sky. Let's admire that tree. Let's hug the tree. Let's look at the flowers and smell them. All that engagement into plant life and to earth is helping translate that creation energy, because that gratitude and admiration of it feeds the energy through the earth chakra into the earth. But the other thing that I like is asking people to take time throughout their day, once a day for like 5 minutes, and sending energy to the core of the earth. So easily are you saying, I want to get grounded, right? So you run your energy into the earth and you imagine you have roots and you're like, oh, I'm grounded. But why not take that energy and send it right to the center of the earth and feed the heat in her belly and just give it to her, because she's going to use that frequency and shine it back out to everybody's feet, plant, life, worms, animals, into the atmosphere, into every bird that's in the air, every virus, every particle, every plane, every person in the plane, and so forth and so forth. I really think about this a lot.
I hear that. Myra Adams is asking, hello, Maitland. What's the exact role that water plays for all living beings here on Earth and for Gaia as well?
Water is so incredible because it's the game changer. She's the land is it okay that I use masculine and feminine language?
Sure. Yeah.
I can use it in terms of positive and negative. Just like people have positive energy current, negative energy current, and neutral energy current, the earth has the same. The water, that's the negative energy current. But the water shifts and changes, and when people are around the water, they are charged up with change, because the water doesn't say, I need you to come here and focus and be still. Water is like, you're used to weighing heavy and standing on your feet and having gravity hold you. Come play with me. I'll make you light as air, and I'll hold you, and I'll change shape, and I'll freeze, and I can turn into gas, and I can drop from the sky, and I can come from the ground. So it is a cleanser, an energy charger, whereas land is positive energy. It's considered more masculine, and that's the one that says I'm fixed, and I won't move unless something very, very big happens. A weather pattern, or like an earthquake, or no, earthquake is the one where it shakes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, earthquake. So water is a power up and a cleanser and a changer. If you're feeling really stuck in life, going next to water can help soothe you, calm you, release your worries, and get you to see how to approach your problem solving in a different way. And it's the same thing that water does for the earth herself. You wouldn't think that the earth has problems, but the earth is managing endless amounts of species, interspecies relationships, and managing wild human beings that think they can create whatever they want and just store it in the ground, which is silly. I wish there is a documentation about trash.
Mm-hmm.
I want everybody to see that one, because that'll make you stop in your tracks. You don't know where your trash goes, you sniff it out and follow it out, because Earth can't manage all that. So it's up to you.
And same with your recycling. Don't assume that just because you're putting in the recycling bin, it's all going to.
That's true.
So we have a question from Emma. I love this question because humans have a tendency to do this. I love gardening and sometimes apologize to the weeds as I pull them. How can we be okay choosing one living thing over the other? We're notorious for this, right?
It's true. But a weed is just a beautiful plant that's in the wrong place. And plants do, it's not like humans where they think about procreation and then it takes, 9-10 months and then you have to raise it on your own. Plants go, I'm going to spread as many seed as possible and one is bound to survive. So the humanizing the death of the plant is not doing it any justice. Its concept of life is very different, though equally as intelligent. So if you're having a garden and you need it to look a certain way so that you can feed yourself, you simply, when you make the parameters, or if you have landscape and you desire it to look a certain way, in your parameters with your intent, you make it very clear. When you choose to seed here, it will ultimately be under my heart, in my hands, required for this land. So make sure your intent is there, and then when you see the weed, just know that when you pull the weed, you tell the weed that you have another job for it, which is composting. And composting recycles and goes back to the earth and feeds the worm and feeds the plants that you really want to grow. Plants are carnivores, by the way. You don't ever think about it, do you?
And then they
create
the food for the worms and the bugs, and I mean, it really is a full cycle.
It is a full cycle. But they eat themselves too, because it's the compost and then it's the dirt and then the nutrition, and which is what they feed on. I like when we think about plants as being very slow and sweet and not causing any harm, but then when we really get into their life, they are very verbal, they're loud, and they actually move pretty quick.
Very opinionated, it seems like.
They are.
Yeah. And they'll show you physically.
Yes. So I would remove with great intent and then have a special place where compost happens. If you're one of those people who just pull the weeds and then throw them into a bag, I think there's a relationship and some energy clarity that could happen there. And then if that bag gets taken off by the city or by whatever, you may feel a big disconnect, like you're just coming in and laying claim. You are, but let's do it with a more energy focused way so that you feel better about pulling weeds. But it's okay to pull your weeds, and it's okay to lay domain over your property the way that you want to oversee it. And if you don't feel comfortable with that and you want to live in harmony with whatever chooses to grow, then that's exactly who you need to be. So it's not about finding one way and then looking at everybody else to do it the same way. It's about finding your way and honoring how everybody else does theirs.
Maria's asking, how many dimensions are there?
Endless. Numerically, it doesn't make sense to talk about it that way.
How many do we have access to?
As humans?
Mm-hmm.
Unenlightened humans?
I mean, what is, I guess, just give us a little bit of a range. So unenlightened human range to completely enlightened to what is the endless possibility for a human?
When you die, we're going to sit and laugh about this because I'm going to put a number on it and I'm going to tell you it's not going to make sense, but I'm going to do it anyways. But I wouldn't use it. I would say, as a human, your possibilities of mixing with other dimensional planes would reach 108 different dimensional planes. I shake my head because when you get into one dimensional plane, it looks different and there's variations of them. Like reality can only be experienced behind your eyeballs, in your heart, in your thinking brain.
In your belief system.
In your belief system. And yours are different than mine. So yes, we can access different dimensionals, but my experience of them is going to be quite different than yours. We can't categorize. And numbers are categorizing in their characteristics, so it doesn't make sense. But there's a lot that you can access.
Mary Lockie is asking, I've heard I've been gifted the 11th chakra. What's the way to connect to the higher chakras?
Omen. I just made own a verb. You own it. Own it. You own it. You own it.
You own it and then you own it.
Yes.
Or you own it, then you own it.
Can't want a t-shirt. I own it. It's so funny. Sound vibration and that sound resonance within the body. It's incredible. Mantra chanting, things of that nature can put you in a deep, but I mean higher trance. Can I get back to the earth thing?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So I mentioned why we're connected to the earth, because you're the antennas. So let's talk about a few ways that you can get in tune to the earth. Sarah R. was asking, have help, and I mentioned admiring gratitude about the earth, the color, the variation, the perfect beauty of it, and then also sending energy to the core of the earth. But I want to say that a simple walk in nature is big. Being in the forest and around trees, even for like 10, 15 minutes, produces a lot of serotonin in the body. And serotonin makes you very happy, calm. And then if you can't walk out in nature, bring nature inside. Have some plants inside. And if you're somebody who is like, well, I can't grow plants, I will not be the one to tell you that a cactus is easy, because it's not. But get a plant that is easy. You can go down to a nursery and just say, what's the easiest thing? And I don't have a lot of light. This is what I want to do. When you find yourself care providing for a plant that's indoors, you'll find yourself building a relationship, not only to them, but to how time progresses with them and the change of seasons and temperature and smells. Everything is going to increase. As an architect, as a human architect to Earth, when you are providing care to plant life, which is how the Earth expresses herself in light, same with animals, but when you find yourself in a care providing position, your chakras naturally cleanse themselves. They get rid of the things that they're not using. They flake off, they shed off, they renew. And when you're in a care providing position, it puts you in a place to acknowledge gratitude, to access empathy, more depth of emotion. And these are really important for energy-centric people to live a very full and healthy life. So bring nature inside. Another way that we can connect with nature is, well, I got a lot. We talked about walking, bringing nature inside. It can be as simple, some of you empathic, clairsentient people will know what I mean. It can be as easy as having a glass of water. So water is something that the earth expresses. It's her feminine side, her changing side. And by having a glass of water, whether it was bottled and manufactured through some company or osmosis or straight from the spring or right from the tap, it's water. And it's water that the earth made, the atmosphere and the cycling of the weather patterns. That when you drink it, you just slow down and you think about the planet and how she provides this home for you. And as you drink the water, whether you're in a meeting and you have a little moment to daydream, or you're about to go to bed and you're having your last sip, or that's the first thing you do in the morning, let it be part of a deep intent, almost a prayer-like state of mind, where your heart just shows this really deep opening gratitude that you're nourishing yourself with the earth. Because in the water there are minerals, and those tiny mineral particles are from the earth. And all of this is coming together. This is where you're merging. And that would be my 3 examples of how to merge with earth energy to be in tune. And the reason it's important to stay in tune with her biggest heartbeat and her frequency, and a lot of the animal life and tree life, is your heart chakra. The frequency, the hertz of your heart chakra is very similar to the frequency and the hertz that nature puts off. And nature is Earth's expression of herself. So when we look at a buzzing bumblebee, it's a 528 hertz, same as your heart. We can look at the sound of a vine growing. We can look at frequencies that trees give off, and these all resonate within the bandwidth of the heart energy. But yet, a lot of times when you're engaging with plants, you're just engaging with your senses and not your energetic system, and you're going, oh, look at that, that's really pretty. Oh, that's very nice, and you're looking with your eyes, or oh, that smells good. But as soon as you start to apply the gratitude for, like opening, your energetic system is involved, your chakras, and then they start to communicate. Your heart gets fed the frequencies, and then this is when the healing happens. This is when your system goes, oh, we don't need that. We need to unpack that. We need to let that go. And this is why people feel better when they're outside, better when they consciously drink a mineral-filled glass of water from the earth. This is when you're walking in the forest and you feel better when you come out of it, because your chemical system on the inside is changing, and it's getting you to the place of joy, which is the main purpose of why I wanted to talk to this about today, is talk about this topic today, is when you get in tune with nature, you're actually tuning yourself like a musical instrument to experience joy.
I love that.
There's thoughts on that?
So we have about 2 minutes left.
No, we don't. We have much more.
No. It's a 30-minute class today.
Can we have a little bit more?
Yeah, we can go a little bit longer, because I actually had one question. That's what I was going to ask you, because you had talked about it earlier. And Julia was asking, how do you visualize the core of the earth? Going back to when you were saying to visualize it every day. Yeah.
So if I were human, this is how I would visualize it. I would start with my feet on the ground, whether I was standing or sitting. And then I would imagine that when I breathe in, that I don't just have air coming in my nose, I have it coming in through the top of my head. And it comes in and it goes straight down the chakra system, right down to my feet. And then when I breathe out, I'm not losing the air. I'm breathing out my feet and pushing that breath down past the crust, down past the mantle. Is that what it's called? Crust, mantle, then volcanic, right?
I can't remember. This is so long ago, unfortunately.
And then into the core. And so if you want, you can do a little picture, like think of something that you can find online, or maybe a drawing that a kid did where they're dissecting the earth. And simply by using your imagination, you can push that breath into the core of the earth. And then when I like to imagine, when my light shines all the way down, my breath gets all the way down to the center of the earth, that I go, make it bigger. And it gets really big to fill that core magnus. mineral metal filled ball. It's a wonky ball, by the way. It's not a perfectly round sphere. But your imagination.
I can almost see it like shifting and flowing, almost like slime. Yeah.
Ding.
So we have a question from Peter Lombardi. Why do life forms like this exist and prey on and kill things off like moose and giving humans Lyme disease? It's a conversation that we have endless, right? Like, why are there fleas? Why are there mosquitoes? Why did animals go endangered and extinct?
So he's asking specifically about ticks.
And moose.
And moose.
Mm-hmm. I think the moose population is decreasing.
That's really sad.
Yeah.
They're very large and they're losing their land. So that's the natural decrease. They might look at it as an increase in ticks or Lyme disease or other kinds of things that are harmful to the moose, but the property encroachment is number one. As long as humans continue to grow, if they are not conscious about preserving, like Peter, you know the 80-20 percentage. Peter is an architect, and when he designs to build on 20% of the property so that 80% of it can be wildlife. Because when you're thinking about building a home, you also have to think about the home of the wildlife and the nature that you are encroaching in. And without that concept, which so many neighborhoods have done, in the love of progress, then we tend to push out nature and decide that nature is beneath us and the humans must survive. But now we're in a position where we need to be very aware that we have our attention on all survivors, moose included, ticks included. But when we look at creatures like ticks, mosquitoes, fleas, things that carry harmful diseases, there are ways of keeping checks and balances. And there are ways of, because humans are getting smarter, you're standing in this platform of intelligence of saying, well, now we can live longer and we can multiply more and stay more stable. And so we're expanding in our population numbers. But if we don't have the awareness of the other 80%, then we're going to be creating harm. And right now, humans create more harm, unfortunately, than what they do with good. And it's just right now a simple fact where you stand. I don't say it to create, to create thoughts of you being disappointed or upset with humanity, but taking the average, there's more sleepwalkers than conscious earthwalkers. So that number is flipping and changing, and what helps keep it in balance are those illnesses and diseases, whether they are delivered by creatures, whether they're man-made, but they spread. The whole COVID thing was a part of it as well.
Do you want to go there? Okay, so I'm going to have this be the last question. Okay. Don Krabby is asking, hey, Maitland, what can you tell us about the elementals who take care of the planet, i.e. fairies, etc.?
All your other multi-dimensional friends that are helping out. And the Earth does not look like what you think it looks like. If you are only observing nature through your eyeballs, you're going to find, yes, beautiful color, amazing structures, the most delicate lace-like plants and most powerful trees, and you can connect to them that way. But when you look with your heart or you look with your clairvoyant eyes and energetically, you'll see the dimensions that lay around you beneath 0 and above 5, who are care providing for the energetic regions. It's kind of like, how can I describe it? I have this image of scrubbing bubbles. I
So
saw it in a commercial.
yes, that's a product, scrubbing bubbles.
But that's not really what I want to use, but that's the image I have in my head. Just like you take care of your energetic system, you know, a lot of you don't. You go, oh no, I feel fine, and you ignore it. But those of you who really do, you feel it. Like how some of you can feel your heartbeat. Like, slow down right now and tell me, can you feel your heartbeat? Do you know when it's beating? The majority of you won't. It's an interesting question. When you're in sync with your body and completely connected, you'll be able to identify it. And that is actually, it's like a marker of someone who is really in tune with their environment, because they'll respond to when their heart races. So their gut instinct and their body intelligence is communicating very strongly. So for the Earth, she has her heartbeat, and we measure that in frequencies called the Schumann's resonance. And for her to maintain those frequencies throughout her whole body, she has energy entities. We call them fairies, gnomes, nymphs. There's all kinds of words. Leprechauns,
Sprites.
There's water, land, denser matter like rocks. So there's frequencies and energies, entities that help maintain the strength of rocks, help maintain water, help maintain soil, help maintain day to night and transitions and seasons and temperatures. And all of that is going on really without your day-to-day awareness. Just like your heartbeat is going on, most likely for many of you, without your day-to-day awareness. It just happens. There's stuff on the inside. So the moment you tune into the Earth, you can start to see those magical little shimmers and twinkles from them. But they do help the Earth maintain her frequencies and stay healthy, especially if there's upcoming large weather changes. They'll often preserve plant life, seeds. They'll often preserve animals that are in danger and protect. They're often a part of some of the miracles that occur and hold life in a safe place so that when things pass, that life can then thrive from there on. Did I answer the question?
You did. She actually responded, thank you, Maitland.
You're welcome.
I think that was a wonderful answer.
This is so much fun
It
for many
is.
reasons. Then we get to talk to each other. And that's why I was telling Colleen and Jamie that this would be so much better to offer in the membership.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to say membership and Luminaires at
Yeah.
the same time. That didn't work.
Membership.
Mm-hmm.
Luminaires.
Because it's interactive rather than straight out. Oh, I get to see you again tomorrow.
Yes.
Because I'm going to do the July energy update.
Yes, we will be live tomorrow with the energy update. And it will be public. So tell your friends, anyone who's, yeah.
Oh my God, this is going to be our first time doing
Yeah.
it for
So we're going to do it live tomorrow.
I'm so excited. This is going to be good. You'll like this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
July's going to be a good month.
Yeah.
Yay. I think we could all use that, right?
Yeah, it starts off good
Yeah.
and it just gets better.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
And
I
then
love
the last week or two is just really good.
Oh, I'm going to start crying.
I know, it's nice, isn't it?
You have so many thank yous. What time is our energy update tomorrow? Marie, I think it's 12:30, but we will definitely, I'll make an announcement. I think it's 12:30 Eastern time. Does that sound right? Maitland, I don't have it in front of me.
I don't know. It's on the calendar.
Yeah.
But I'll be here.
Yep. We'll send it out and we'll post it, Marie. Okay, we'll post it in the community thread and then I'll post it on social media as well. Okay, you have so many thank yous.
You're welcome. Bye, Luminaires.
Thank you so much, Maitland.
Bye.